Um, Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening for based on anywhere you are looking at or you are watching my video. I have a few questions that goes on in my mind based on what goes on around the world, what goes on in Nigeria, what is going on in America, what is going on everywhere. But particularly, I'll be speaking to you today based on one single question: how do you want to be remembered? Many people live their lives, with contentment that, okay, where I am now, I'm okay. You know, what is going on around me, that is okay. Many also think that, okay, it doesn't matter what is going on as long as I'm able to feed myself, I'm able to feed my family, I'm able to feed people around me, whatever is going on is okay. And many also believe that, okay, so far I'm calling God in the way I'm calling my God. No matter the level of killing, no matter the level of backwardness, stagnancy, and all sort of things that's going on around, they don't care. So they believe that is okay. But one thing that you should be remembered for, if you can think one day, 1 minute, just for, if in fact for 1 second, to say, okay, what do I actually want to be remembered for? Is it how well I've taken care of my wife, or how well I've taken care of my children? You'll be very surprised that whatever no matter how you took care of your wife or your children, is just like that, nothing else. But it is what you are able to contribute to your society that actually distinguish you, that actually makes you to be remembered. I remember growing up, there are men, let me call them fathers, that were on the street. They were not they might not actually be our father, but that gave birth to us. But we see them as an elder on the street, and we respect them. Until today, we still remember all what they did, and at the same time, there were stories that were told. This was this man did, how he did this, how he did that, and to their own children, that is a pride. But interestingly, today, you're very surprised at those one that we heard those good stories about their fathers. They might not even actually having a voice today to speak about situation around the world, or situation around them, or situation in their own nation, their own neighborhood, in their own community, in their own nation. They have become moot. Yet, their father then they never had education. They never went to school. They never have first degree. They never had masters. In fact, they don't even have, they call it standard 6, as in primary school. They don't even have primary 6 certificates. But then they were able to voice against every injustice in the community. They were able to say no. They were able to stand up. They were able to rally people in their family around them together to defend what it has to be defended. To say no to what they needed to say no to say yes to what they needed to say yes to. But today, as we see in our community, as we see in the nation Nigeria, many of you wake up in the morning, go to your job, you do your job very well. That is what you are taught to do. You pray the way they want you to pray. You go to church the way they want you to be going to church. You go to the mosque the way they have planned it. They have planned it for you to be going to the mosque. You go to Mecca the way they have planned it for you that you have to go to Mecca. You go to Jerusalem the way they have planned it for you that you surely want to go to Jerusalem. You go to everything that they have planned for you. That is what you do. What is that thing that you do for yourself? What is that thing that by yourself you think from within? There is the human instincts in you, that if it's not yet dead, if that human instinct is not dead yet, but an average Nigerian, our human instincts is dead, because we have been coaxed into making us to believe that it is okay. No, don't worry about it. That is normal. No, just keep it the way it is. No, you don't need to complain. It's gonna get better. Oh, just go to the mountain and pray. Oh, you can just go to, if you travel to Jerusalem, by the time you hit your head on that wall, your prayer will be answered. Oh, if you just bring us some prophet together and pray for you, everything we want in our society will come to reality. Oh, if you go to that Mecca and go and pray to the gods of Allah over there, everything you want is gonna be answered. understand? That is what you have been given to do, and that is what you have been doing. But what is that thing? You have sat down and reasoned by yourself. What am I doing? What is going on in my area, in my land, in my community? Is it the right way it's supposed to be? Have you ever questioned that? And have you ever questioned how you have lived? Have you ever questioned the way your own father lived? And what is that thing you couldn't do because the societies never change, because things never get better? Have you ever questioned things that the people you voted for into power, they have never been able to achieve 1% of it? Yet they have been spending billions, they have been spending millions, they have been spending a lot of money, and 1% of it has never been done than to put you more into more poverty, into more wretchedness. I asked a question 11 years ago, 11 years ago. I asked a question that when are we going to have a better Nigeria? That was 11 years ago. Today, we have never had a better Nigeria. We have had what one of my friends called a digital poverty, that more people have become more very wretchedly poor in the digital age. They become more wretchedly poor than what we were in 1960, than what we were in 1970, than what we were in 1980, than what we were in 1990. Today, people are more poorer than what they were. How and why? Because we have never been able to dig ourselves out of the level of poverty that let me say mental poverty that we have been sunk into. We have been sunk into mental poverty that we need to try to excavate ourselves out by fire, by force. And that mental poverty is so rich. It's very rich because we mash ourselves into it. We migrate ourselves into it. We push ourselves into it because you have been told from childhood that you just have to be praying for whatever you want. You just have to be fasting for whatever you want. That is how rich it has been in our heart, in our soul. We jealously guide it. Jealously, we are guiding it. But I'm telling you today, my brother, my sister, that is not the solution to your problems. That is not a solution to your problem. As long as many have been praying, I remember those days, it's in 1977, that was Festac 77. Some people will be claiming that they brought idols. Who is idol? What is idol? Idol lives in your heart, not one element that is brought somewhere. Idols live in your heart. When you have something that you cherish more than God Almighty, that is idol. But today, they are blaming it that Festac 77 was just art. Was just an art, bring together of different artistic work, and that was brought together. But today, and are we still having Festac 77 every year? Are we still having idol being brought from everywhere around the world to Nigeria every year? And the answer is no, because they use that to make your brain to think that it's because of idol. It's because we are practicing the tradition of our fathers. That is why we are backward. No, it's a lie. It's a complete lie. People around the world, Indians never lived their traditional culture. Pakistan's, India, go to Japan, Indonesia, they are still practicing what they are still practicing, and yet their country is getting better. In fact, I've been saying we even know God even better than the European that brought God to us. But because they never brought God to Africa, they brought poverty, they brought wretchedness, they brought corruption. Because before they came, nobody dare steal somebody else's thing. They brought evil, they brought darkness into our land. And yet you have never been able to think, to get yourself out of that mentality that it is when you do not stand for your right, you do not stand for what is right, that is when things get done. No, it is never, it can never, and it shall never. You need to understand that you have a responsibility in your age, you have the responsibility in your own time to stand and to speak against every injustice, no matter your status in your society. No matter how rich you are, no matter how positioned you are, you need to stand up to defend what you need to defend. In a world where everything is full of evil, everything is full of darkness, everything is full of what they want you to be, what they don't even want you to be, you have become of it. And yet, somebody will come to you and say, oh, okay, this is how I want this to be, this is how I want that to be, and this is how I want you to be doing things the way you want you to be doing things. And yet, none of you ever complain. We never complain. You just take it the way it is. We never question things. We just hold on to. At times, when I go to bed and think, at times I shed tears about the situation in Nigeria. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran wa ń jẹgun, ọmọ aláṣọ ń wá kìsà, ọmọ aládé rìn lẹ̀, ó di ẹni tó di ẹni yẹ̀yẹ́. Àwọn ọba wa ń di ẹni tẹ́ pé wọn kà wọ́n sí mọ́ gọ́fúnà kan Adébẹ̀ akàn yọ wọ́n bó ṣe wù wọ́n. Àwọn náà kéde rèé àwọn kábíyèsí wa wọn ò dẹ̀ rò pé àti forí adé ń tẹ̀lẹ̀ ibi tá a pè lórí àti fi ń tẹ̀lẹ̀. They are still romancing the old things that the British left. They still romancing it. They are still dancing around it. They are still keeping it because they believe that is where they are getting whatever they are getting. No. Kábíyèsí, ẹ̀yin ọba aládé, Mojúbà, Motẹríba. We have more to do to save our people. We have more to do to save our land. The rubbish that is happening today, everybody is saying it's EndSARS now. The complexity of Nigeria is beyond EndSARS now. Even when you are ending SARS, there are people there that go to that what they call it, the National Assembly, that is taking the entire money, that are supposed to stabilize the nation. Some people are getting it and they are, doing whatever they want. They call somewhere NNPC and not good is happening from the NNPC. NNPC is just a center for corruption where they just steal Nigeria to poverty. Nigeria Port Authority, nothing good is happening from there. There you go to, if you now go to Railway Corporation is dead, and now they are selling out to China. And an average person in Nigeria is so educated. And somebody, I was saying something to someone, I said, what is education? What is education? You do not have education. When you say you have first degree, you have master. I study accounting, I study banking and finance, I study civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and yet all of you are bragging with your tie or with your whatever helmet. And yet you cannot speak against injustice. You just had your double jeopardy. I call it double jeopardy because it's education without science. So education, I mean degree without science. Education means you have a knowledge that gives you an ability to know something is not right. That is education. Oh, that guy is educated. Because you have a knowledge that makes you to know that this is what I should do at this point in time. That is education. You study civil engineering, that, okay, I've educated in civil engineering. That means when I see a foundation, I must be able to know this foundation has tendency to collapse because so and so conditions are not met. That is education. In that particular area, you have other knowledge. And you must be able to apply it. And if you are not applying it, you never had the education, no matter you claim you have civil engineering degree. The same way, that's why you have civil engineering degree. You were taught some basic what you call general studies, which gives you knowledge to know what is right and what is wrong in the society. And if you are not using that aspect of knowledge within your society, you are not educated. Let's face it, you are not. And if you say, oh, you are a musician, before you become a musician, you went through a particular level of education. At least your current age. Lowest, you went to secondary school, you did government, or you did social studies, or you did whatever you did. So whenever you learn from that particular level of education and you are not able to apply it, you have never been educated because the knowledge you were given is not applicable. The knowledge you are given is dying inside of you. It's useless. I hope we can understand this. So education is when you acquire knowledge, you are able to apply that knowledge. That is when you are educated. So if you are on the street in Nigeria today and you are claiming you are educated and that level of education has never been imparted on the street, forget it. You are a dumpster that is worse than, I don't even know what to call it. Because insects are not dumb, goats are not dumb, the so-called sheep that we say sheep is even more brighter than average Nigerian. Because in Yoruba proverb, but in Nigeria, we have been pushed to the wall and we never turn back and bite, which means a sheep is brighter than average Nigerian. How we can understand what I'm saying here? Which means a sheep is brighter than average than you that is listening to me, if you never stood up for your right. Because if you have never stood up for your right as a Nigerian, as human being, as an average sheep, an animal, sheep is better than you. Because when it about but you have been pushed to the wall. What are the walls you have been pushed to? Right now, as you are listening or as you are hearing, as you can look around you, there's no power. Look around you, there's no what's called drinkable water. You need to go and buy something from somewhere they call sachet water or bottled water to drink. There's no potable water that is available in your house, that is flowing. That is 2. 3, the education. You finish whatever degree you have, you couldn't get the slowest job is not available. I've not been pushed to the wall. 3, the telecommunication you think you have, the internet that's supposed to be available, it's not available. They will now charge you for data. They say, okay, you are paying, I don't know how much is being paid now for data, and you have to go and buy data before you because you want to use WhatsApp, you want to use Facebook, you want to use whatever social media that you are using, you need to go and buy data, right? But do you know you don't need to go and buy a separate data because you're supposed to be paying like every monthly, bill that's supposed to be. Everything is inclusive, but because they want to rob you of everything that you have, that is why they are still making it the way it is. And all of you be jubilating MTN, Globacom. No, those guys are just robbing us. That is 4, right? 5, security. An average person on the street does not have the confidence that I'm going to go outside and I'm going to come back safely, because there's jeopardy, there's destruction of the security system in the country. And now we're talking about SARS. Why are we complaining about SARS? Because criminals, they recruited criminals to be guiding people. What do you expect? When the so-called police are not wearing uniform, they call themselves SARS. They stop average Nigerians on the street, kill them, kill some, rob some, force them to the ATM to withdraw money. How is that security? How are those securing us? How are they ensuring we are safe? And yet, you never voice your anger. And yes, you never turn back and bite. That is why sheep is better than you. I don't care your degree. I don't care how much level of education you had or the degree you are holding. And say, oh, I'm PhD. For it's useless. Your PhD is useless because it's not applicable. It's never benefiting life on the street. Nobody ever heard your voice. Education, that is what we call it. Education, you acquire knowledge. That is applied. You are applying it. You acquire that knowledge. You have to apply it. That is when you are educated. But when you say you have education and it's not applied, you are not applying it. It's not applicable. Then it is dying inside of you. Automatically, you are as equivalent to someone that never had that degree. So if you are listening, if you are hearing and you are listening and you have ever gone to any school, it is now time to stand up. Yes, I want to make the essence of my degree to be felt in society. That is one of those things you'll be remembered for. Many study mechanical. Many study different things. And one thing about Nigerian education, no matter what you study, all of us going through, general studies that give us the basic understanding of the society, that this is what society is supposed to be. And when that is not, then you need to know that you need to stand up. So the human consciousness for you to defend what has to be defended died. Why? Because they now brainwash you with religion. That is what they did. They brainwash with religion. Oh, I'm going to this church. In this church, this is how you will pray. Everybody now have a doctrine. They say they are serving God, but despite they are serving God, this church they cannot go to this church. That person cannot go to that church. That person cannot go to that to that doctrine. Why? Because it's religion. It's not God. It's not about God. It's not. You are just religious. That, oh, this is my doctrine. What is a doctrine? Something created by someone that this is the way I want you to practice or serve God that I call. It's a doctrine. Anglican call their own. Methodists call their own. Deeper Life had their own. Redeem had their own. You are just following religion. It is not about God. It's not about Christian. About spirituality. And that is what they use to coerce you, to box you, to make you remain foolish in your society. And you are dumb. Why your father that never had any religion that you were following with your heart, that never had any education, that is making them to say, okay, I study civil. They stood up to their right. They stood up to defend their people. They said no to things that is around them that is not working for them. They say yes to things that they want, that they demand, and they fought for it. And that is why we're able to call ourselves, oh, we had an independence. What? Though it's not an independence, we're never free. We're never free. If you are still thinking that Nigeria is free, Africa is free, Africa is never free. We are still in chains. If you think, oh, you are still thinking, oh, we had independence. We are this year now, to October 1st, they celebrated at 60 in Nigeria. At 60, what can we point to? Just point to one thing. Name it. Every company that is right now employing Nigeria, they are owned by either American company or a Britain company or whatever company. And the banks that you think that the banks are working, those banks are corrupt. They are as corrupt as Nigeria politicians. You know, I remember those days in 2005. I was talking to someone in Kaduna, and I told the person, I said, okay, where does these guys get all this money to build all these big banks everywhere? I said, these guys are involved in all this oil bunkering, corruption and stuff. You know, and that is the way it is. No, they will be, all of them will be parading themselves. They will come to America, parading themselves here. I will be looking at you guys are just criminals. You know, they will never talk. They will never say anything against what is going on in the society. Because they are part of the corruption. It is only in Africa that I see a child of a poor father, a poor mother, will grow up to become very good, important person in society. And as you join the group, you become as corrupt as people that was. Africa, Nigeria. We stood in a very strategic, or we are standing in a very strategic position in the world. The rest of the world depends on Africa to survive. I've been saying this thing for as long as I could remember. The rest of the world, America, Britain, Germany, everybody depend on Africa for them to live. And if you are listening to me and you look at, if you have never understood the position we are occupying in the world, you need to start getting into a level of readiness that no, it is time for us to take back what we lost. Our identity was lost. They told you, oh, you need to be praying to one particular way to one God. No. Pray to God in the way of your fathers. Pray to God in whatever way you want to. God, call him anywhere you want to call him. They told you, oh, you have to have education in this manner. No, we don't have to have education in one manner. We can change our own way of education. We can decide, okay, at the age of 14, you can go to university, you can have your first degree, you can study medicine. We can create our own educational system that suits our own way of things. They told you that, oh, medical is supposed to be like this. They told you if we invent anything in our own way, we invent something medical, whatever, in our own way to take our care of ourselves. They will tell you, no, it's against chemical formation, or it's against the standard of international standard. And yet, their own people are dying. They prefer to keep their people into extreme poverty, extreme bad health situation, and yet they'll be pointing finger at us. Why they are using whatever medical way bad drugs to keep the life of their own people. Why somebody had high blood pressure, from there they're going to be treating him for blood sugar. From there they're going to be treating the person again for cancer. The same person. Before you know it, the entire body is now depending on one drug, one medication or the other, until the person will just fall up and die one day. And all the insurance, all the money the person has in the bank is gone. They made him to be poor before his death. No insurance. Despite the insurance, they swallow everything. That is what is in this part of the world. And yet they are pointing finger to us. But my message today is, what do you want to be remembered for? The most important thing you can be remembered for is the fight for the people. If you don't fight for people, forget it. Your husband and wife, yes, that's it. That's all. But when the people are on the street, that you say, that means the people that you help, the people that you motivate, the people that you encourage, the people that you push up, that you pull. You need to be this. This is how you're supposed to be. They are the one that will never forget you. They are the one that will always remember you. They are the one that will always stand to make you. They are the one that will ensure that when you are actually standing, they will be there to stand with you. The situation currently, the situation in Nigeria is nothing to write home about. Nobody, don't let anybody deceive you that this Nigeria has never existed. It's a nation that has never existed. It's just a company that is managed by Britain and the foreign countries, and they are doing things for their own alone. That's it. I questioned somebody. I said, have you ever imagined why Shell, despite this terrible situation in Nigeria, despite the terrible situation in South, with all the killings and all the stuff in the South in those days, especially when Sarawiwa was killed, why is Shell? Why is Chevron? Why is ExxonMobil? Why is Ajib? Why is Total Fina F and Total, or Total right now? Is that Total Fina F or Total? Why is Total? Why Shillong Baja? Why have they have never said, okay, they want to move or they want to run away? They will never run away. They will never run away, because that is the life. That is where they are making their money. So in one way or the other, they sponsor all kind of nonsense that go on behind the scene, that infiltrate our system, that infiltrate our people, destroy lives, farms, water, everything. And yet everybody is pretending that all is well. When I intentionally traveled to Port Harcourt, to meet a friend back in the days, and intentionally said, okay, my friend, I'm coming to you. I traveled. On my way to Port Harcourt from Ado or from Lagos, I was crying. I was like, because I serve in Enugu, and I traveling from Kaduna to Enugu, when I was serving in Enugu, each time I traveled that road, I cry for Nigeria. In fact, I cry for people in the Southeast, because Southeast, at that moment, all the Senate presidents were from the Southeast, and there was no single road that linked the Southeast that is good. Then after the NYC, I traveled from Ado or Lagos, or going to Port Harcourt. From what's it called? I think from Benin. I think it's from Benin. Yeah, I traveled from Benin, going to Port Harcourt. The road from Benin to Port Harcourt is nothing to write home about. And when I was coming from Port Harcourt back to I think to Benin, if you see the road from going through Onitsha and Co, I was like, what is this? That was 15 to 20 years ago. What do we have today? And the current so-called Minister of Transportation were the governor of Rivers then. If you see the road within Port Harcourt, you'll be crying. You'll be shedding tears. With all the money he made, with all the money they made in that state, there's nothing to point to. And he came and now become Minister of Transportation. What is he doing? What is he going to offer? They'll tell me, what is he going to offer? He offered nothing. That's why you see a rail project that is happening from Lagos to Ibadan. That road, the Lagos to Ibadan, it has been in the budget of Nigeria since the 70s. Who is getting that road? Who is the road being awarded to? Who is getting the money? Do Nigeria know? Nigeria, you have never been accountable. And our people have never demanded our leaders to be accountable. And today, now all of you will be celebrating, you'll be running after them because they have more money. Which money? Was your money that was stolen. It was your money. And yet they will come and they'll be in politics, and now all of you are celebrating them. They will give them shit that to shift this, shift that. And all of you will be hailing them. You don't know that these are people that destroy your future, that destroy the future of your children. That doesn't allow your children to have job today. Many of them have power station, right? Why is the power station not working? Oh, many claim because economic viability. Don't you know there is no economic viability when you have the power station? For you to invest into it and draw companies to be able to make profit? A lot of different questions we can ask. But as a youth that you are in Nigeria today, if you do not stand up, if you do not rise, as just the way you rose, you rose to fight the battle, and SARS now. It is time for you to rise to fight every battle in Nigeria. There's the resource control, that the federal control resources, that has to end. Because now they discover gold in Zamfara. So CBN is telling Zamfara to pay them certain amount of money. Why the people in South, their oil and whatever is just being, a northerner is owing oil well, why the owner of the land doesn't even have a single oil well. They call it source control. Quota system. They used to say quota system to destroy the entire nation. Now, an average northerner who is the one that is in charge of everything in Nigeria. Why in my own land, I have no power, and yet you are expecting, peace? No, there will never be peace. People will always, I told people, I say, survivor is the first responsibility of every living thing, even plant. If you plant anything in your room, the first thing as that thing grows is going to be looking for where is sun. Why? Because you need to trace where sun is coming from. As sun is coming from, it's going to tilt its head, because it needs that chlorophyll for it to survive. Same thing, human. Same thing, animals. If you keep a dog somewhere, that dog wants to survive. That dog will feed on anything to survive. But unfortunately, as an African, or as a Nigerian, as a Yoruba man, as an Igbo man, or as a Shekuri, or as an Yoruba, whatever tribe you come from, you are living as if you are worse than an animal. You are worse than a living thing, because you have never been able to stand up for what you're supposed to stand up for. A plant tilt his head to make sure he get the sun. He fought for it. A sheep will turn back and bite you. If you run, you pursue a sheep too much, and it gets to the wall, there's no way it's going to turn back and say, okay, what is going to happen? I'm going to bite you. But we just, oh, don't worry, that will be okay. We run to church and start praying. We run to mosque and start praying to God, to Allah. No, you rise up. You have to wake up, rise up and fight for your freedom. You fight for what is right. You demand your freedom. No, God will never come down from heaven and say, oh yeah, take your freedom and just go. It has never happened. It has never happened in the history of the world. Many of you read Bible, you read Quran, right? You fight for freedom. You demand your right. You stand for what you want. You demand it. That's why I'm so happy for Nigerians. It's as something rise from inside of me. Appreciating every youth. When I see David Doe, when I see the Naira Marley and others, I'm so happy for them. And it is high time for every so-called celebrity in Nigeria. If you are known as a celebrity, you have a voice. If you do not speak against injustice in Nigeria, history will never say good things about you, no matter how much money you're going to make. History will never say anything good about you, because when an average man is suffering and you fail to speak, one day your own grandchildren will suffer the same thing. No matter your status today, no matter your status today, it become an history, and your own children will stand up and they will not be able to have somebody to defend them. You think this world exists alone? No. Nothing that you do go in vain. Nothing. Either you do it, you say, oh, I did it, and now you are 80, you are 90, you did it, you die. Oh, your own children, you're going to rape it. Or when you come back to it, if you don't believe in incarnation, it's real. You're going to come back and suffer them all. They will burn you again. They will give back to you. Somebody will give back to you somewhere. You will be given back to where you're going to suffer it. Where people will maltreat you. They will do the worst of it to you. You think, oh, you're going to go to one heaven somewhere. There's no one in heaven anywhere you want to go and enjoy anything. It's on this earth. You know, I was showing my wife something on the field recently. He doesn't know anything about the universe. I took him to the, what is universe? What is called galaxy? Understand, when they mention galaxy, what does it mean? Where does the earth place itself? And for you to know, when somebody is telling you the world is going to destroy, nothing is destroying anything. No, God is not destroying anything. So stop being deceived. It's going to be happening here. You're going to be recycled. So the moment you know that, you now know that when you are praying, oh Lord Jesus, come now. Jesus is not coming anywhere to come and do anything. It's just brainwash, to brainwash you, and to start running after Pope. And they have been running after Pope for thousands of years. And with that, they made all the money. They stole your gold. They stole your mineral resources. They stole everything in the name of that name. That cross. They gave you that cross. And all of you are running after it. You are running. You are praying. Don't go to farm and plant yam and think Jesus is going to drop yam for you. Don't go to school and read and get education and apply education well and think that, oh, you're going to just going to... No, it's not going to happen. Don't go and build security around you and think, oh, automatically there will be a security. No, it's not going to happen. You are responsible. Sunda. We, as human, we have responsibility. You serve God Almighty in your own way. At the same time, you are responsible to build things that you're supposed to build. What you see today on the street in Nigeria is what our father failed to build. And what you are going to see tomorrow is what we failed to build, or what we build. What we see today on our street is what you and our father, and as many of you that are older than our generation, what you failed to do. What you see today is what you have failed to achieve, what you have failed to do, what you left undone. What you see today is the result of all those things, all those criminals that are parading themselves, and you fail to correct them. What you feel today, what you see on the street, what you are not able to enjoy today. Some people were quiet years ago. But right now in our generation, we are saying no. Some that's good, we say yes to it. And those that are not right, we say no. We say no to it. We have to continue to say no. We have to continue to reject the corruption in our society. We have to continue to say no to all the leaders that are destroying our image. We're given fake identity. Oh, we are right now speaking English. Am I supposed to speak in English? No. Because they took away our identity. They will tell you, okay, you come and baptize. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They will give you John. They will give you Paul. They will give you... Why? Because your name is useless. They believe your name is nothing. So give some people Ibrahim. The name that they give them Ibrahim, they give them Sadiq. Is that your real name? Is that your identity? No. It has been stolen. And now all of you are running after it. Oh, I'm running. Because we lost our identity. We lost our real self. And I tell people, I said, if they cut your blood right now, if they cut you right now and do DNA of your blood, would they see your religion? No. Your religion is as useless. But we are so foolish that we carry it in our head and running around. I have to be a Christian. It has nothing to do with you. When you were born, that religion has nothing to do with you. Your blood is your race and your land. Where do you come from? I'm a Yoruba man. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Yoruba man from Yoruba race. That is what they will see in your blood. The trace of my great-great-grandfathers is what is in my blood. My great-grandfather, my great-great-grandmas is what is in my blood. So if they test you, they do DNA for you, they will never see the religion you practice. It doesn't make any trace. It died with you. If you go to, it's not even, you go to heaven and it is what you do on this earth, you're going to reap. What you do, la kolima sandy koliva. It's what you do, you reap. You have ever plant yam and reap and go and I want to go and harvest maize? No, it's not. The same way human. We are just the same. We are just a higher animal. You go to farm and plant okra and you are expected to go and harvest pepper. Is it possible? No, it's not. So it is high time you stand up. I told somebody, he said Nigerians, Yoruba Republic, Biafra, that do we even know well? I said you should keep quiet. You have never seen a better country. And we that were in abroad in a foreign country that we are talking that we need Oduduwa Republic, or some people need Biafra nation. They know what they are talking about. We have a nation when people speak same language in the same land. That is a country. Orile ede, ile ati ede, land and the language. So we understand us, no matter how challenging it's going to be, no matter how difficult it's going to be, we still speak one language. We still going to understand ourselves. We still going to beat ourselves and embrace ourselves because we are one. In one language, one culture, one tradition. That is what we are talking about. So in a society where we are looking at the complexity of where we are, we first of all embrace your people first. Your people come first. You will never see an American that is going to say, okay, he's going to be preaching for Britain. No. You never see a German that will be saying, oh, I want to be talking about a Russian. No. So as a Yoruba man, I will not be talking about Igbo. I will not be talking about Hausa people. Yes, whatever is happening in their land, I can contribute my voice, my opinion. But it doesn't mean that I have to say, okay, this is how they should have to do their own thing. No. I'm a Yoruba man, and I'm proud to be a Yoruba man. On this note, we are looking at the situation of Nigeria. It has never in any way pleased Yoruba people. And that is why if things does not go the way it's supposed to go, then we are the right to determine our future. Self-determination. To build a better future for our children. And the born and unborn. To build a better future. Yes, some people say, oh, the complexity of the current politicians. Oh, what is going to be? Yes, they are Yoruba people. If they do not obey or adhere to things that is supposed to be, we deal with them because we are all brothers and sisters. Not that somebody will now say, it's an Hausa man, we cannot do anything, he's living in the north. We are not, nobody's living in the north. We are all in the same land. We can deal with ourselves. We create our own constitution that's aligned to our differences, based on different communities, different land, different places. That's why we're going to have a unified constitution. We're going to have based on the diversity of our land. And from Akoko land, because we have tradition, we have culture that we adhere to. It doesn't matter that I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim. It doesn't matter. Our tradition, our culture come first before any religion. Despite Jews who say they are Jews, they still dress the same way they dress. If you go to Mecca, if you have a church there, they still dress the same way they dress. Doesn't mean that because they are Christians, because of that they will now dress like a European. No. They dress the way they, because it's their tradition. So, and the level at which our people has been enslaved, we need to free our brain, free our psychological orderliness for us to be able to think straight. Our brain person is not thinking straight. Anything that you mention as the first is going to think is about church. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? The first thing this person is going to think is about being about a religion. What is wrong with you? Think about safety first. Think about deliverance, about freedom first. Not about any religion. Religion doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just a brainwash. They just bring it to you to brainwash you, to steal your identity and take your resources. And all of you are running. They will take their own money. They will go to Jerusalem and go and be spending it for the Israeli. They will take their own money, will run to Mecca and say, I'm going to Hajj. And those guys are making trillions every year. Why their own land? They are taking every oil, every gold, every resources from their own land, and they will still take their own money and go there and give it to them. Think and start thinking. Deliver yourself from slavery. Deliver yourself. Nobody's going to come and say, oh, bring your head, let me wash it. No, you have to think. You have to step out of whatever you are given. Knowledge is not what you get from in the class, what somebody sits you down, push. You step out. Think yourself. Think yourself out of all those things that you are given. Many will not like what I say, but I'm not saying because I want to lie. I'm saying it because I want to be angry. And start thinking. And start reading. Whatever they brought to us, we had everything that they gave. They are telling you that they gave to you was what we had. God was never brought to us. We have known God, the Lusa came by the God Almighty. We have known Him even before the European come to existence. Yes, we've known God Almighty, Olodumare, before European, the so-called entire Europe, come to existence. Africans have known God. I've ever questioned why almost everything in the Old Testament, everything is about Africa. Almost everything. No matter what they want to do, and they now come to you and say, okay, now that God is European, or that God is... Listen and think. Think, please, think. Start thinking. Start listening. Start asking questions. Start being logical. Bring things together, combine it together, and reason and think. None of these guys want us to be free. That you are America, you are in London, you Russia, China. They don't want us to be free. They want to perpetually push us down for us to be ensured that we never rise. And I'm telling you that is a lie. We are going to rise. All what we need is to go community to community, reorientate our people, change their ideology. Because it takes an ideology to deliver people from a particular ideology. Let them start seeing a better light. We're going to build economic power. We're going to build financial strength within our people. Therefore, they will not depend on a politician, or they will not depend on one foreign influence for them to be able to do things right. Because that is very important. When you can feed yourself, you can think freely without depending on one foreign influence by religion or whatever way. I know that if you go to some places now in the north, or even in Lorry and Co., they've influenced them with money. Oh, go to Mecca. So once they go to Mecca, they will not be able to speak anymore. Some people in the southwest, they say they'll go to Jerusalem. By the time they go to Jerusalem, they become so mute, their mouth so sip. Oh, become a pastor. They will preach that they become a pastor. Once they become a pastor in one church, automatically they are so silent. They are answering to their papa at the top. They are no more answering to God. La kolimba sulemba kadanyaya. They do not ever see God anymore. They are always seeing their papa. Because God becomes so small to them, they only see that papa that is riding jet. And yet you call God. La kuba ileka ilebo. He will just sit down in heaven and look at you. Ka. God, the Almighty God, that when you think about Him, you'll be afraid. Somebody will now sit down somewhere and be telling you something that is not real, and you never question it. Somebody was asking me how long, how do I know? I said, when I was in secondary school, I don't just listen, I read, I question things. If I go to church, whatever they are saying in the church, what I want to learn is what I want to learn. What about that God? Not about that pastor, not about whatever they are saying. No, it's about God. I'm really particular about God. And people around me, how much I can best be useful to them. So what is that thing you're going to be remembered for? I've said a lot today. I've said a lot. What is that thing you want to be remembered for? You want to fight for freedom of your people? You know, I was watching a movie of recent. The movie is about the Second World War. How the German, taking the Jews and stuff. And the Jew lady said that my father told me that I needed to go and learn to use gun. That the only land you need to fight for is our land, the Jew land in the land of Palestine. That is what the lady said. So which land are you fighting for? Either you are a Muslim, Yoruba Muslim, or Yoruba Christian, which land are you fighting for? Are you fighting for land in northern Nigeria? Are you fighting for a land, Yoruba land? Are you fighting for a land and at the same time believing that you want to give that land to a foreigner? Or are you fighting for a land that belonged to your forefathers? That when they cut your blood now, the gene of your forefathers that practice traditional religion is in your blood. Are you going to take that land and give it to foreigners? Which land are you fighting for? To the Biafran people, which land are you fighting for? Fighting for your land in your own land, right? I believe that. As from the south, from north central, which land are you fighting for? So if you are a youth now, you are fighting for freedom. As you are fighting for freedom, you think, which freedom am I fighting for? In which land? So that is how it becomes so complex. And that is why we are saying, oh yes, the nation Nigeria is just fake. So let every nations that make Nigeria become nation on their own. So Yoruba can fight for their land. Igbos can fight for their land. Ishekiri, the Jok can fight for their own land. And then we can have a better people within a better society that we can decide our own future. Who told you that you have Europe, right? European Union. There are multiple nations within Europe that make European Union. You can build a unified Africa. We can build a unified nation, but it cannot be called Nigeria anymore. We choose our own name. That's why we have a multiple nation. Multiple nations. The people you point to now, they are not interested in your survival. They are not interested in your greatness. They are not interested in good things that you are dreaming, you are imagining. They are only interested in their pocket and their own children. But I tell you, all their children, they are just vagabonds. They might sit down on social media, on Instagram, of you will be celebrating them. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. It's only if these children sow good things. But if they fail to sow good things, they will reap great things that are bad in great ways. Bad things in great ways. As Africans, as Nigerians, as a Yoruba man, or as a Yoruba woman, you have heard my voice today. I'm very passionate about our lives, our future, and those of our children. Like it or not, anywhere you are in the world, you are a black man. Until that land in Africa is free, you are not free. Believe it or not, until that land in Africa is free, you are not free. If you point out on your fingers to our fellow friends and brothers and sisters that are African American, you have the same. We are all the same. We are all in the same shoes. We feel the same pain. Even worse of it, in our own land, we feel the pain. The beauty, prison in our land, they put our own people in those prisons that have done nothing in our own land. They sponsor coups. They sponsored various series of coups, various coups. They have taken the life of our people, and yet we are not yet free. They have molested our women. They have raped our children, our daughters. They have turned them to harlot on the street. They have turned our men to become prostitute, even to be celebrating a let me say a sexuality that is not existing, because they destroyed our society. They push all kind of things to our head, making us to think that this is the way it's supposed to be. But it is high time for us to start saying, no, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Anything that is called freedom, that is against humanity and human existence, it is not freedom, it's slavery. So any mentality that you think you have, oh, I want to be this, I want to be free, and that freedom actually enslave you into believing something that is counter, that is against humanity and expansion of human and peaceful existence of human. It's no more freedom. So as we are fighting for freedom in our land, we fight it with a vision, with a determination, with a purpose. Our land must be free and our people must be free. Together we can fight the battle. Together we can win it. But no matter your status, whether you are celebrity, this celebrity, that, no matter where you have been known from, you need to contribute your voice for us to fight the fight of liberty, for us to fight the fight of freedom that can set our people free psychologically, physically, and the land has to be free. And I've been saying, no matter what we want, even the international community that want to build business in our land, that business has to be people's inclusiveness. Our people must be inclusive in it. Our land must be inclusive. Our development must be inclusive. It's not just to fill the pocket of one foreign person that sit down in one house in London, in UK, or in the United States that make them richer. Our people come first, and our land come first. Any politician, whoever that is calling himself a politician, that not see you as more important than the money you want to make, it's not right for your vote. Our people, our land come first. And until we start embracing this, until we start knowing that this is key for our freedom, we are not going anywhere. Our freedom lies in the freedom of our people and the freedom of our land. Have that in your heart. When you think, when you rise up in the morning, always remember, what are you going to be remembered for? And start fighting for that. And I believe God Almighty, the God Almighty Olodumare, will support you, will help you, and strengthen you. Thank you. I remain Kennedy Alade.